Hello everyone, welcome back to the lecture number 2 of class 11 biology anatomy of flowering plants chapter. So today we are going to learn about all the classified varieties of tissue and all that. See, let's do a quick revision. So what is anatomy? Anatomy is looking at the internal structure of plants or animals. What is it? It is actually looking into the internal structure. Now, let's study the level of body organization in plants. It is starting with cells, tissues, then organs. Like cells are the unit of life, as you all know. Then many cells of the similar type come together to form tissues, like you already read in the lower classes. And finally organs. Then, this is an important note that organ system is absent in plants. Okay, moving on. Now here is the classification. See, in my first lecture I didn't tell about this thing, that cambium. Okay, so I told that tissue can be classified into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue, right? And here's all the types of meristematic tissues classification. Now, actually meristematic tissues can further be divided into primary, right? Primary and secondary. Okay? See, primary and secondary. The primary meristematic tissues classification I already told you. And actually the secondary meristematic tissue contains all the different types of cambium, like cork cambium, vascular cambium, or intravesicular cambium, and all that stuff. Okay, main thing, meristematic tissues can be further divided into primary and secondary meristematic tissues contain all the different types of cambium. Actually, this was not that much in NCERT, just this much is only there, so not a great problem. See, now meristematic tissues, primary, can further be divided into apical meristem and intercalary meristem. So the apical meristem is there present at the apex, and it is of two types, stem and ram, means shoot apical meristem and root apical meristem. See, the shoot apical meristem is found at the top of the plant, at the distal most region of the stem, and at the lower bottommost region is the root apical meristem. Now, see, another type was intercalary meristem. This means, suppose this is a full grass. A cow, like an alien type cow, came and ate the grass at this level. So does that mean that this much, the grass will only be this much and nothing else? Will the grass not grow above this level? Won't it? Yes, obviously. But I told you that apical meristem is present at the tops, right? No, in grass, within the grass plant, at various levels it is found. Hence it will be intercalary meristem over here. The intercalary meristem will aid in the growth of the plant. Okay, think of the grass plant as a building, and like this is the stories, 3, 2, 1 and the ground floor, right? And at all the stories there are intercalary meristem. Okay. Now, permanent tissue. See, permanent tissues are of two types. They are simple permanent tissue and complex. The simple permanent tissues contain just one type of cell, whereas the permanent tissue, which are complex in nature, are made of more than one type of cells. Okay, there is a contrast to what you have studied about tissues. You studied in lower grades, the tissues are made of same kind of cells, right? But actually it's not. See, the simple tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Okay? Then the complex permanent tissues are of two types: xylem and phloem. Done? Now let's study their features, characteristics and all that stuff, general characters. Like the meristematic tissues are those tissues which actually show continuous division. This is the most important thing, shows continuous division. They contain small cells dense protoplasm. Dense protoplasm. Protoplasm means cytoplasm plus nucleoplasm. Okay. Then they have small cells but contain large nucleus and have thin cell walls. Like all this stuff, large nucleus, thin cell walls, and small cells, aids in multiple division, right? Then the primary meristem. What do they do? As the name suggests, primary. Hence they shows the primary growth in plant. Obviously, primary growth means increase in length of plant. This much, nothing else. Now the secondary meristem increases the girth of the plant. Means like there is a stem now. It increases the length linearly. Okay. Now this thing shows secondary growth. Then primary growth. How can you define primary growth? See, a plant when it was a baby, a plant when it was a seed, right? You have planted the seed below, and after what happens? The root occurs, right, like that, and the shoot occurs like that, grows vertically. At the first stage, thus the shoot is becoming like thick, this much, and turning into a woody stem? No. Hence, the increase in length is the primary growth. Okay. Moving on. See, and secondary meristem contains different types of cambium. Now let's talk about the root apical meristem and the shoot apical meristem. See, this is the diagram of the root. You may ask that I don't see root like this. See, take a plant and observe its root like this. Nah, it's like a birthday cap cone, like this thing. You just take a blade and just like this, not like that. I can make you understand that. Like, it's like a circle now. You put a blade like this and cut it. Okay? Then you will get this portion. Like, what is it? We will discuss about the layers of the roots. Yes, it is in anatomy. We will discuss it, but it is the common thing. Like where it is found, root apical meristem. See, this layer is called the protoderm. This layer is the cortical layer or the cortex, and this part is the central cylinder, not the pith. Then this portion actually protects the root. It is root cap, and this thing is root apical meristem. It aids in the length, increase in length of the root. And now shoot apical meristem. See, same thing at the tip of the shoot. We have just cut it vertically. Then this thing, the small leaf which will originate, their leaf primordium. Their leaf primordium. Know this, leaf primordium. And these guys, small overgrowths, they are axillary buds which will give rise to branches, flowers. Okay. And the pink ones are differentiating vascular tissue. And what is vascular tissue? Vascular tissues are xylem and phloem. Okay? Understood? They are called vascular tissues or vascular bundles. And this yellow one is the shoot apical meristem. It is found, as I told, in the most distal most region. Hence it is. Now, let's talk about the permanent tissues. See, permanent tissues, they are formed from the division of the meristematic tissues. Obviously, common sense, as meristematic tissues have the capability of division and these permanent guys don't. Hence, obviously, these are formed from the division of the meristematic cells. Correct? Then, the most important thing is that they lose the capacity to divide. Right? The last thing is, these permanent tissues are modified both structurally and functionally. To what? To perform different tasks. Okay. Now, let's talk about the simple permanent tissue. They are made up of only one type of cells. And what do they include? Parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Actually, we need to talk about all these three in detail. And again, complex permanent tissues are made up of more than one type of cell. They are xylem and phloem, it includes, and xylem is made of xylem, parenchyma, xylem, fiber, tracheid, and vessels. Whereas phloem is made of phloem parenchyma, phloem fiber, sieve tube, and companion cells. Actually, we need to talk about all these and all these, and parenchyma, collenchyma, parenchyma also. And as the video will get longer, I will just give it in the next lecture. See, our dream college, a good image always at the end. So, yes, work hard towards achieving it, and thank you very much. Keep studying, stay healthy, stay